everybody, it's Catherine from In the Pink Designs. My project today is a box that measures 5 by 2 by 1.5. Okay, it can fit a bunch of things. You can put truffles in here or a small gift or any type of treat. It opens like this, and inside I have a Pez dispenser with 3 of the packs of candies. They come like this, and I had one of my customers ask me if I could make a pretty box for one of these, so that's what I'm doing today. But of course this can fit anything, some truffles or anything like that. You don't have to have a Pez dispenser. Alrighty, and I cut this flap here with this die from the Basic Borders dies. Now you don't have to do that. You can just leave it flush. You could either tuck it in and cut a little grip right here, or you can, instead of just putting a bow here, you can tie that bow around the box and tie it for the closure. But I used 2 of the 3/8 inch Velcro dots. Alrighty. Now I used Decorated with Happiness bundle, which is still available. So it's Decorated with Happiness stamp set and the decorated pine dies. For the circles, I used, for the stitched circle, I was the Stylish Shapes dies, and the other 2 are the layering circle dies. This paper is from Santa Express Designer Series paper. And what else did I use? I think that's it. Oh, this ribbon is retiring. It is the 3/8 inch gold shimmer ribbon. Alrighty, I think it's on sale right now for $3.80 in the last chance. Okay, so what we need for this box is 1 piece of shaded spruce that is 10 by 8.5. We need 6 pieces of the Santa Express Designer Series paper. 2 that are 4 3/4 by 1 3/4. 2 that are 4 3/4 by 1 1/4, and 2 that are 1 3/4 by 1 1/4. Okay. From the decorated pine dies, I cut one of the boughs. It has a long piece, but I didn't need that, so I cut one of those. And we need some basic white for stamping. And then for the circles, we need, from the layering circle dies, I have a scallop circle from Shaded Spruce that is 1.5, a Poppy Parade smooth circle from layering circle dies that is 1 3/8, and a stitched circle from Basic White that is 1 1/4 from the Stylish Shapes dies. Now you don't have to use this exact. You could put different shaped ones, or you could only use one if you don't want to, if you don't have the Stylish Shapes and or the layering circle dies. Alrighty. Okay, so let's start with our piece of Shaded Spruce. This is my host code. Please put that in if you're going to spend anything under $150 when you order. And I can send everybody a little something if you put that in. Okay. All right, now we're going to start on the 10-inch side. We're going to score at 1, 2.5, 7.5, and 9. And we're going to turn it to the 8.5 inch side, and we're going to score at 1.5, 3.5, 5, and 7. Okay. Now I'm going to fold and burnish all of the score lines. Okay, now how I'm going to put this is in the portrait mode, so the longer piece is going to be standing up, right? And this is what we're going to do. Okay, now remember, you don't have to cut this. You can just leave this alone and tuck it in, or you can wrap your ribbon around to close it. It doesn't have to have this if you don't have the Basic Borders dies, but you could leave it straight and use if you have an old border punch, you can use that too. All right, so how this is there are 1-inch strips on the top and bottom, and 1.5-inch strips on the 2 sides. Alrighty, and we're going to start on the left. We're going to go to the first score line, cut it to the second score line, get rid of this rectangle on the bottom, and wedge each side of the square. Alright, we're going to go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, and we're leaving that alone. Next score line, cut it to the second score line. We're going to take off that bottom rectangle and then wedge each side of the square. Okay, now these 4 pieces that are left, it's 3 rectangles in a square, we don't need them. So we're going to take all of them off. Okay, so I just took all that right out. Okay, then we're going to turn it all the way to the other side. We're going to start on the left again. Count 1, 2 score lines. Count up to the second score line. And we're going to take these 4 pieces off. We're just going to mirror basically the other side here. Alright, we're going to go to the next score line, cut it to the second score line, get rid of this rectangle on the bottom, and wedge both sides of the square. We're going to leave these 2 alone, so we're going to go to the next score line, cut it straight to the second score line. Alright, then we're going to get rid of this rectangle on the bottom here and wedge each side of the square. Okay, and this is what your cardstock should look like after you're done scoring it and cutting it. Alright, before we put our box together, what we want to do is take one of the pieces of the Santa Express DSP that is 4 3/4 by 1 1/4. I'm going to put it like this so that the part with the flap is facing me. And I'm going to put that on there with liquid glue. Try to keep it about 1/4 inch away from the edges so that when we cut it, it won't squeeze out. Or you could put it on with Stampin' Seal if you don't want to use the liquid glue. Wait a minute. Okay, now I'm going to take this die from the Basic Borders dies, and I'm going to put it about 1/4 inch up from the edge and try to eyeball it nicely centered. I'm going to take 2 pieces of my low-tack tape, put them on the sides. Alright, now I'm going to go over to my die cutting machine. What you have to do is fold these in and put just that front through. Okay, I'll be right back. I'm just going to gently peel off the die and the tape. Alright, and then this should pop off pretty easily. It's a little thicker than just cardstock because it has the DSP on top. But that's what it should look like after you cut the border out. Okay, now you can use tear and tape now if you'd like. I'm going to try to use some liquid glue. And we're going to start on this bottom piece. I'm going to put some glue on both of these tabs. And I'm going to take the top score line of the tag and make it flush with the side of this rectangle right here. Try to do both sides at once if I can. It kind of gets a little hard. You could, I guess, get glue on the second one separately. So it would be easier to do that. And then the other 2. Let's try one on at a time this time. I'm going to take the score line and make it straight with the side of this rectangle here. This piece on the top is going to be free. Let's see if I can get some glue on this without wrecking anything. There we go. Right, and then I'm going to take the top of the tab, which is the score line, and make it flush with the side of the rectangle. Okay, and that's the box. All right, now let's put the rest of our DSP on. We're going to put the two pieces that are biggest. They're 4 3/4 by 1 3/4. I'm going to put one on the top and one inside right there. Okay, and then the other piece that is 4 3/4 by 1 1/4, I'm going to put on the back. And the two small pieces that are 1 3/4 by 1 1/4 on the two sides. And I'm going to use liquid glue for all of it. Okay, now I got this pretty red and silver shred from Dollar Tree. So I'm just going to sprinkle some in there. This would look really pretty with truffles in here too. Or kisses. All right, and then this I got from Target. All right, I think it was $2 for the 3 candy strips and the Pez holder. Okay, and it's your choice if you want to load one in. But I'm going to just put him in there, and then I'm just going to lay the candy on the sides, just like that. All right. And I'm going to use 2 of the 3/8 inch low profile adhesive Velcro dots. I'm going to put one right here, one right there, and then the other side on top of it with the adhesive facing up. Okay. And then you just want to make sure that your sides are straight and then just push it down. It's easier to do this when the box has something in it because it has more leverage there. Perfect. And then I'm just going to reinforce them, and that's your closure, unless you want to tie the ribbon around the side. Okay, now what I'm going to do with this piece is I'm going to cut this top piece off by itself. Okay, then I'm just going to kind of round this nicely so it doesn't look funky. And I'm going to put one like that, and then the other two over it facing down. Okay, I'm going to get my silicone mat and a little sponge. See, there it is. Okay, I'm going to use a clean side of the sponge, and I'm going to put a little bit of glue right there. First, I'll do this one here, and I'm just going to dab in the glue and then dab it, try not to move it, onto the sprig. And I'm just going to put that right on there like that. Okay, and then the second one. I'm going to put it right on top, just like that. So that all 3 of the fingers kind of go in a different way, but they all fit on the top. All right, and then I'm just going to wipe off my mat, and it's clean. I think this is just a couple dollars. It's not expensive, so it's a really great tool to have, especially if you glue a lot. All right, so let's let that dry and let's do some stamping. So first, let's do our sentiment. And everything I stamp, I'm going to be using real red ink. So we're going to take the sentiment, and this is all from Decorated with Happiness stamp set. And it says Boughs of Jolly. And I'm going to put that right in the middle of the stitched circle. That is 1 1/4. Okay, so I'll let that dry. All right, and then we're going to do the long ornament. I'm going to stamp it in real red. Oops, that's good. And then we're going to take this inside piece, and we need a piece of scrap. And I'm going to put it on there. I'm going to stamp off once, and then I'm going to stamp it onto ornament part. Okay, and it goes off the edges, but we cut that off when we get the die. Okay, now I'm going to use this ornament. And I'm going to use this filler piece. And I'm going to stamp that off as well. Okay. That's it. Alright, now I'm going to use the outline this die and this die to cut them out, and I'll be right back. Okay, there's the ornaments cut out. All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut right above the bow. Get rid of that long string because we don't need that. And I'm going to just put this to the left of the box. Now we could use dimensionals. I don't know. This one I glued down. I think I'm going to use dimensionals on these this time. Maybe some mini dimensionals. So I'm going to put a regular dimensional down here and a mini on the top bow. I'm going to place this right here. Yeah, I think I like them popped up a little. Alright, and then the other one, same thing. We'll put a mini, or you can cut up a regular one. Put the mini on the top by the bow, and then a regular one down here. I'm going to put this one towards the end, a tiny bit lower. Okay. And then we have our scalloped circle out of shaded spruce that is 1 1/2. A smooth circle from Poppy Parade that is 1 3/8. These three are from the layering circle dies, and the stitch circle from Basic White that is 1 1/4. And I'm just going to glue them all together. Okay, and I'm going to use dimensionals again. I'm going to put 2 just to keep it nice and secure. And I'm just going to center it on the right here. Okay. Now I'm going to tie a bow with the gold shimmer ribbon. There's another gold shimmer, but it's bigger than 3/8, I think, so, or smaller, I'm not sure. But the 3/8 is the one that's retiring. I'm just going to trim them off. Good. Okay, and then I'm just going to decide which side I like the best. It's going to be this side. Okay, so I'm going to flip it over. And I'm going to get some glue dots, and I'm going to put a glue dot on each side of the knot, and then a dab of glue on the knot. And I'm just going to glue it right to the upper right side of the sentiment circles. Okay, and then for the final touch, I'm going to use some of the festive pearls, and I'm going to use the gold ones, and I'm going to put a gold one on each one of the bows and one on the side of the sentiment, so there's 3. And that's it. I love it. I think it's so cute. Thank you so much, Dee, for the inspiration on making this. If you have any questions, my email is below. The link is below to my shop and to my blog that has all the measurements. All right, thank you for watching. I appreciate the time you spend with me. Please subscribe and hit the like button, and I will see you next time. Bye.